It's going. It's going. See you later, Ball. Mit meinem sportlichen Hallo begrüßen ich Sie zum Grundkurs. Our topic today is sports, sports, and sports. Baseball, ice hockey, and running. Carolyn will fight with the infinitive, dem Infinitiv, and the gerund und dem Gerundium. And we will get our brains to top speed. On our trip into the English world, we will learn more about my sports fanatic countrymen. Ice hockey is not really my thing. I like my teeth way too much. Baseball, on the other hand, let's say I learned to like it. You want to see me in action? No problem. When I was in Boston, I visited my cousin Ian at his boarding school. And since he, as many others, see me as a role model, I had to show him my skills with the bat, if you know what I mean. I had to show him. That is already the first infinitive. You will find more of those in the following film. Hey, Ian, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. That's a nice school you got there.
It is. Let me show you the baseball field.
How many students are there?
About 320.
320. What grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. That's the 10th grade, right?
Mm-hmm. So how's your stay in Boston been so far?
So far, so good. Boston is so old and fascinating. I wondered what to visit.
What did you end up doing?
Well, on my second day, I did not know whether to go on a sightseeing tour or to visit the flea market. I ended up visiting the flea market.
Were you considering buying something?
No, I like to travel light. Hey, are you crazy about playing baseball?
Oh yes, I'm really crazy about playing baseball.
Well, do you want to sit down here on the bench and watch these kids play some ball?
Okay, sure, yeah, let's sit down here.
Okay, it's your turn to play ball, Carolyn. Carolyn. Man, she's good.
Perfect.
No!
Ja, erfreulicherweise sind meine Grammatikkenntnisse um einiges besser als meine Fähigkeiten im Baseball. Deshalb schnell zur Grammatik. Wir beschäftigen uns heute mit dem Infinitiv und dem Gerundium im Englischen. Beide Formen sind in etwa vergleichbar mit dem deutschen Infinitiv mit zu oder verkürzten Nebensätzen. Sie müssen aber oft anders übersetzt werden. Aber der Reihe nach fangen wir mit dem Infinitiv an.
Boston is so old and fascinating, I wondered what to visit first. I did not know whether to go on a sightseeing tour or to the flea market.
Bei diesen Beispielen wird der Infinitiv mit to verwendet. In diesen beiden Sätzen haben wir verkürzte Nebensätze. Bei beiden, mal hier, what und to visit und whether mit to go kommt der Infinitiv nach einem Fragewort. Das ist ein häufiger Gebrauch des Infinitivs mit to. Weitere Beispiele. He told them when to hand in their papers. I don't know how to use this tool. Show the guests where to put their coats. Noch etwas: Mit dem Infinitiv mit to wird ein Nebensatz verkürzt, wenn Numeralien oder Superlative vorausgehen. Hä? Supernummer was? Ja, das meine ich so. Moment. The first to enter, the last to go. The best person to have here. Der Infinitiv mit to kann auch die Frage wozu beantworten. Dann steht er anstelle eines Relativsatzes. Auch dafür habe ich natürlich ein Beispiel. Wozu habe ich die Karte gekauft? Damit ich den Weg finde. To show me the way. Wozu will ich zum Bus? To take me to the city. Wozu brauchen wir einen Fremdenführer? to show us around. Dann gibt es noch den Akkusativ mit nachfolgendem Infinitiv. Das hört sich komplizierter an, als es ist. Im Deutschen ist das meistens in einen Satz mit das zu übersetzen. She expects him to call. Sie erwartet, dass er anruft. Da kann sie wahrscheinlich lange warten, aber das tut hier nichts zur Sache. Zurück zum Thema. Remind me to buy some milk. Erinnere mich daran, dass ich Milch kaufe. Tatsächlich folgt der Infinitiv mit to auf die meisten Verben, Adjektive und Substantive. Want to see, happy to earn, decision to marry. Das sind jetzt nur 3 Beispiele, damit Sie eine Vorstellung bekommen. Mehr dazu finden Sie wie immer im Begleitbuch und natürlich bei uns im Internet. Und hier nochmal der Infinitiv. Mit dem Infinitiv kann man auch eine Absicht oder einen Zweck ausdrücken. Im Deutschen wird das meist mit zu übersetzt. Stop here to watch. Willst du hier halten, um das Spiel zu sehen? Bis jetzt hat der gute Eric ja hauptsächlich anderen Leuten beim Sporteln zugeschaut. Vielleicht macht er ja auch mal selber etwas. Schauen wir mal.
You play a lot of baseball, don't you?
I try to.
You're one of those guys who dream of becoming a baseball star.
Oh, not really. I'm just interested in making friends.
Oh, man! Did you see that? Oh, that had to hurt, man.
Baseball and Boston go hand in hand. Whoever plays the game has to be tough.
Man, that had to hurt.
Would you like to play with them?
I don't know if I'm too crazy about playing, but man's got to do what a man's got to do. So I guess I'll show him a thing or two.
Shouldn't you ask your mom first?
Shouldn't you finish up your homework first? Let's go.
Und noch mehr Infinitive. Haben Sie sie gefunden? Die sind nicht so leicht zu entdecken, denn das sind Infinitive ohne to. Schauen wir uns doch noch einmal den Clip gemeinsam an.
Shouldn't you ask your mom first?
Shouldn't you finish your homework first?
Shouldn't you ask? Shouldn't you finish? Hier haben wir Infinitive. Und zwar ask und finish. Plus Auxiliary. Shouldn't. Nach den Auxiliaries, die hatten wir in Folge 3, Sie erinnern sich, folgt der Infinitiv, die Grundform des Verbs ohne to. Zur Erinnerung, Auxiliaries, das sind auch can, could, may, must und so weiter. Der Infinitiv ohne to folgt auch noch auf Verben der sinnlichen Wahrnehmung, also to see, to hear, to watch, to feel. Da können wir noch einmal das Beispiel von vorhin nehmen. Do you want to stop here to watch those kids play baseball? Bevor ich nun wieder Eric ins Spiel kommen lasse, noch ein letztes. Auf die Verben, die mit lassen zu tun haben, also zulassen, to let und veranlassen, zwingen, to make, folgt auch die Grundform. She let him suffer, he made her pay.
And I'll make you pay and suffer, Carolyn, if you don't stop pretty soon.
Eric,
Carolyn?
is this a baseball in your pocket or are you just happy to see me?
Oh, it's a baseball. And speaking of baseball, you know who has an outstanding baseball team? Los Angeles. They are called the LA Dodgers, and they have an interesting past. The Dodgers are one of the oldest baseball teams in the United States, and interesting enough, were established in Brooklyn, New York. In 1959, the manager ended up moving the franchise to Los Angeles, California. That is quite some kilometers, as you can see here. This route planner says that you need 2 days with no breaks to drive from New York to LA. Fortunately, there are faster ways getting to the West Coast. Hollywood, here we come.
The USA covers some 40% of North America. More than 300 million people live here. Hollywood, the dream factory in California. Many fancy stars from around the world dream of coming here and becoming famous. But the American dream of going from rags to riches remains for many just that, a dream. More than 2,000 celebrities who did make it to becoming a star are honored with a star on the famous Walk of Fame. Hollywood is a district of Los Angeles. LA is, after New York, the second largest city in the US. Nearly 4 million people live in the metropolis. America's rise to great power status in the 19th century was marked by a never-ending stream of immigrants. Then they were mostly Europeans, but now most of them come from Asia or Hispanic countries, and they are changing the face of the USA. The number of poor people has sharply increased over several decades. Nevertheless, the United States is among the world's wealthiest nations. The US economy, with its huge home market, is the biggest single economy in the world. It was badly shaken by the global financial crisis in 2009, which was triggered off by the American property and mortgage crisis. The dream of making big money attracts millions of people to Las Vegas. The city in the state of Nevada is world famous for its casinos and shows. One after the other, mega hotels line Las Vegas Boulevard, the so-called Strip. Since gambling was permitted here in 1931, the city has become a magnet for the public. 40 million visitors a year come here to seek their fortune, or at least to make a quick buck.
Today, we are really sporty. But if you ask me, one of the best things about American sports are the breaks. At least that gives me some time to stand up, walk around, and grab a beer and a hot dog. Our lovely sporty cowboy has a similar topic today. Shopping can be exhausting, and the cowboy comes once again to the rescue by helping a very tired German. Poor guy.
Michelle, I'm really tired. My feet are aching. Can we have a pause?
Sure. Okay.
Hello, could we please have a pause? I'm really tired.
I just gave you one.
I think it's time to call a cowboy. Hello, cowboy. I seem to have a problem communicating. Could you come to the rescue?
Okay, I'm coming to the rescue.
Seems to be the problem, partner.
Wir laufen den ganzen Tag durch die Gegend. Meine Füße tun weh und ich habe ihr versucht klarzumachen, dass ich jetzt eine Pause brauche. Und sie versteht mich einfach nicht.
Kein Problem. Das englische Wort Pause heißt anders als das deutsche Wort Pause. Erstens, Pause. Wenige Sekunden ist gleich Pause. Beispiel. Es gab eine Pause, als sie ihm in die Augen sah. There was a pause when she looked into his eyes. Zweitens, Pause. Einigen Minuten ist gleich Break. Beispiel. Können wir jetzt endlich eine Pause machen? Wir haben nonstop 3 Stunden gearbeitet. Can we finally take a break? We've worked nonstop for 3 hours.
Thank you, cowboy. Now I know the difference between pause and Pause.
That's a pleasure, partner. Just remember one thing. When you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you do is stop digging. The second thing you do is call a cowboy.
And the second thing you do is call a baseball player. It's time now to show you how I play the game. And the third thing you do is call a Carolyn, because she will analyze it afterwards. Since there are a lot of gerunds in our next film, Carolyn will come to the rescue and help you play the game of gerunds.
Oh, come on, Eric. Wow, Eric, nice hit, man.
Thank you, sir.
Nice job.
You like playing baseball, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's not my favorite sport, but, you know, everybody in America grows up playing baseball.
What's your favorite sport, then?
Well, I was a runner until my knee gave out, so I'm a cyclist now.
You're getting old, Eric.
Kindermund tut Wahrheit kund oder so ähnlich heißt es doch, oder? Tja, Eric, wir alle werden älter. Aber immerhin, unsere Hirne funktionieren noch ganz gut. Und deshalb werden wir uns jetzt sofort an dieser Stelle dem Gerundium, englisch gerund, annehmen. Im Deutschen wäre das zum Beispiel bei dem Verb umgehen das Gerundium Umgehung. Im Englischen bilden wir das Gerundium, indem ein Verb in die Ing-Form gesetzt wird. Es kann dabei in verschiedenen Formen zum Einsatz kommen. Zum Beispiel als Subjekt. Schauen wir uns das hier mal an. Playing Baseball. Wer oder was macht Spaß? Baseball spielen. Substantiv. Nach bestimmten Verben wie stop, enjoy, avoid, consider wird ebenfalls das Gerundium eingesetzt. Auch das schauen wir uns mal an. Zwar ist die deutsche Entsprechung des Gerundiums das substantivierte Verb, also zum Beispiel das Kaufen, aber aus dem Englischen muss es oft anders übersetzt werden, wie hier in unserem Beispielsatz. Das würde man vielleicht mit "Hast du überlegt, etwas zu kaufen?" übersetzen. Das Gerundium wird ebenso nach bestimmten Ausdrücken eingesetzt. Es macht keinen Sinn, verschütteter Milch nachzuweinen. Eine Redensart. Oder auch so zum Beispiel. Would you mind opening the door? I don't mind closing the window. Nach mind wird ebenfalls das Gerundium eingesetzt. Ein weiteres Einsatzgebiet des Gerundiums ist nach of, on, in, about, for, at und so weiter. Ein Beispiel dazu schauen wir uns noch an.
Do you dream of becoming a baseball star?
I am just interested in making friends.
Das schauen wir uns noch einmal hier zum Mitlesen an. In unseren Beispielen haben das Hauptverb und das Gerundium dasselbe Subjekt. Do you dream of becoming? Es gibt aber auch den Fall, dass Gerundium und Hauptverb verschiedene Subjekte haben. Mehr dazu finden Sie im Buch. Ja, und damit haben wir die Grammatik eigentlich sportlich fair zu Ende gebracht und wir können den Ball wieder an Eric übergeben. Bist du noch im Spiel, Eric?
You bet I am. Fit for fun, Carolyn. Thank you. Well played game, and well, I'll see you soon for a rematch.
See you soon.
Our language experts, Humphrey and Sherlock, are also in a fair competition. Sports is a big issue in both countries, and both have different favorites. And of course, they have different names for some. Don't miss it. Baseball, cricket, American football, rugby, NASCAR, Formula One. Ping pong,
Table tennis. Soccer. Football. Zero. Nil. Field. Pitch. Line. Cue. Sneakers. Trainers.
How can anyone call soccer football? Those are two very, very different things. Have you ever seen a football game? Well, I want to see a soccer player try playing football. Before he gets anywhere near the end zone, he would be crushed. Well, anyway, we moved from the end zone to the bar zone, which is my zone. If I were the barkeeper, I would have given that Bavarian a red card sooner.
Thank you, man. With all due respect, you haven't a clue what you're talking about. The nation is broke.
Oh, I have a glue in my pocket. If you broke something, I can repair it.
No, he's talking about if I have a clue about the nation's financial situation, not glue.
Clue heißt Idee. Clue. Glue heißt Kleber. Glue.
And I don't have a clue what time it is. Oh, is it that late? Well, it's definitely time to finish today's episode, but you know where you have to go before the show is over, don't you? Well, you do. Into the language zone.
You're talking in a different language, hoping everyone understands you. Beyond the language, there is another dimension, a dimension of articulation, a dimension of self-confidence, a dimension of knowledge. You are moving in a land of both listening and comprehension. You are now entering the language zone. Love Story, a 1970 romantic drama film written by Eric Segal and directed by Arthur Hiller. It's considered one of the most romantic films of all time. Does anybody have a tissue? Thank you. Thank you. The story tells of Oliver Barrett IV, who comes from a family of wealthy and well-respected Harvard University graduates. He meets and falls in love with Jennifer Cavarelli, a working-class, quick-witted Radcliffe College student. Partly to break the traditional Ivy League mold, the Harvard student marries the Radcliffe College student. This time, I can tell you to watch the movie instead of reading the book to find out the ending. We find out that baseball and Boston go hand in hand, and our American companion can play some serious ball. Eric visits his cousin Ian at his boarding school and ends up hitting the ball far enough that one of the players almost injured himself trying to catch it. In the course of Eric and Ian's conversation, we were taught everything about the gerund and the infinitive with and without to. This time, in Into the English World, we go to learn about the American West Coast, Hollywood, and Las Vegas. The cowboy was called to the rescue because of the confusion between the German word Pause and the English word pause. That was a long pause, wasn't it? I think I need a break. Now, Humphrey and Sherlock made us recognize the differences between English and American sports. The lonely Bavarian in Boston is still pestering his neighbors, and because of his consistency, we now can hear the difference between glue and clue.
That was it for today. I'll go and try to hit the ball for the last time today. Is anybody up for a game of baseball? No. Football? Oh, man. These Germans. Auf Wiedersehen.